Yikes.
We're staying inside, folks.
What is it? Safer at home, right?
Yeah, safer at home.
We already did that. That was episode 2.
And also reality here if you live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly. Which, yeah, it is safer at home. So, you tested positive today.
For toilet paper.
For toilet. You tested positive for toilet paper. Let me explain to our audience. By the way, this is episode 3 of the M&E podcast, aka the M&E pod. Yeah. And we are calling this one Tested Positive for Toilet Paper because this morning...
Yeah, let me explain.
Sure.
Yeah.
Please.
I was under the assumption that we were down to like 2-3 rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And although I thought we had extra, I wasn't sure. I was going by what I had saw in the bathroom cabinet. So I had started rationing accordingly, adjusting behaviors, like whole different mentality with it.
Sure.
But then when I told you today, I was like, yeah, no, we don't really have any TP. Like we're down.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second.
I was a little confused because the other day I remembered stocking the cabinet in the kitchen with toilet paper and tissues, like full. And then I went over to that cabinet, and sure enough, a bunch of toilet paper. So
Score.
Yeah. Because I heard on a podcast today, I think it was Rogan, that the richest people in the world right now have a lot of toilet paper. You know, like that's basically like a sign of wealth is like having a lot of toilet paper. Because I mean, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Like if you can't, you know, handle your biz, that's
true.
It's a sign of being poor, apparently.
Yeah. Well, we're fortunate to have found a few more rolls. So
Exactly. No,
crisis averted.
I didn't have a point to what I was saying.
Between that and Instacart actually delivering a few things today, I really felt like, I was like, okay.
All-star deliverer. You want to go tell them?
Yeah. I mean, somebody actually found our place this time, so that was just. I'll take it. But Instacart, I understand that they've been flooded, and I'm sure the workers have probably been like, I don't know if I want to be working, you know. But to be fair, like I'd say Instacart should have been doing just a hair bit better, I'd say, on the demand side, because I had like 3 different orders like get canceled, and I'm like, just don't let me place them, or set my expectations. Like we have like a low shopper amount today. So like FYI, the chance of this getting filled, like slim to none.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the delivery person was really cool. I mean, we didn't even meet them or see them, luckily, because we shouldn't be around people.
Yeah, but they hung out right around
social
our
distancing.
Gate.
Oh yeah.
It was just
they
like
hung,
it was
hung
very
it with, like,
easy to see.
Like they hung like one part of one handle on one gate and one handle on the other, so like you could literally walk up and see what was in it, you know, which like I don't know, that's just cool.
Yeah,
it's thoughtful.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited because not that delivery, but a different delivery. I ended up getting Fairlife chocolate milk. Shout out to Fairlife. I guess that's a free little plug for them.
Yeah.
But I make my coffee every day with chocolate milk like a little kid. So I really enjoy Fairlife. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to make my prized chocolate milk the way that I like it.
Right.
That shake you heard in the background was Shadow.
Yeah.
And his little leash and tag. But we got Fairlife, so I'm stoked, and hopefully we can keep the Fairlife rolling. Yeah. But we do have toilet paper, which is great. Yeah. So we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, we don't really need to leave.
No,
like we are safer at home,
right?
So.
And then also we got our 50-pack of lighters delivered.
Geez. Yeah.
So that we never have to pay like $3 or $4 for a lighter again, because you know occasionally we like a bong or a joint, and you know it just sucks to have like a lighter that has like, you know, the little flame. I know anybody out there that understands. You get it. It's especially with like right now, it's like you don't want to have to like go to some 7-Eleven
for one thing.
Yeah. Well, especially that, you know, because it's like, where are you going to find a lighter? Typically at like a liquor store or convenience store. Yeah. And apparently liquor stores are closed. But so that brings me to my my next point, that I love how LA and SF deemed cannabis dispensaries as necessary businesses to stay open. They're smart.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you close those, I mean, you're going to have a lot of people that are upset that, I mean, let's face it, like a lot of people, when cannabis went legal, like they used to be on pills, and other things, and cannabis helped them a lot. I mean, I know a few people personally that, once it went legal, they were like, oh, well, why am I going to do pills that are illegal, or do anything else like hard drugs or whatever. So it's like, just imagine if they weren't able to get their medicine. And then not to mention that, like older people, that have like arthritis and need like the creams and the salves and stuff like that. So I was just really happy to see that.
It doesn't appear that the government or any cities trying to keep people from like essentials to daily living.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like reducing risk and kind of slimming down to the bare essentials.
Yeah. Well, it was nice too to see that they put a moratorium on evictions for residents and businesses in LA.
Yeah, that's true. Because with people losing their jobs and stuff, the last thing you want is like your roof pulled out from under you.
Right. And then I was listening to a podcast today, The Bonfire, shout out Bonfire, Crackle Crackle. And they were talking about like it would be really messed up, like really fucked up if like a landlord was like, yeah, I know what's going on right now, but I need to make money too. And then like Jay Okerson was like, yeah, but you own the place.
Right.
Like, come on. Like have a heart.
Poor taste, yeah.
Yeah, real poor exactly. Yeah. So so I would imagine, even though most businesses and most people are hurting financially from recent events. I mean, and only really recent events. Like, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, only a month or 2 months.
Even. I find it really kind of surprising the amount of jobs that have been cut, just given like the 1 to 2 weeks of shutting down. And granted, I mean, I know that's a lot in the business and and I get that, but I'm also just, I don't know. I mean, I know we're gonna be shut down from. Like, I get it, but I don't. Well, but maybe this is like just how recession works. Yeah. Like, it's kind of
the Great Recession was, 2008. That's what brought on Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I was like graduating high school around those years, so I wasn't,
I was even too young to really understand it.
When you're an adult and you're actually like, oh, this is like the impact I'm seeing around me.
Well, it's relevant now. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like we have like my friend hit me up the other day and said like, hey, like, how are you doing? And it's like, I don't think that would have really happened when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like even during the Great Recession, it's not like me and my friends hit each other up and said like, "Are you okay?" And it wasn't anything like this either. It was financial ruin more so. Like it was irresponsible bankers and real estate and the housing crisis and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like this is health.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like people's health, like up in
more
the air.
like a natural disaster in the sense of like biology.
Yeah, pretty much. Were we just reading about cases today that like more than 40% of the cases are within the last 48 hours or something like
that? That was some rough math off the top of my head. So I don't know that I'd throw out any rough percentages, but 101 out of the 292 cases in LA are in the past 48 hours. So
101 out of 292.
Yeah.
I can do the
I'm
math
saying
on
that's
that.
for sure over 30%.
101 out of 292. That's 34.5% or 34.6%. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean if in the last 48 hours?
Yeah. So that's pretty like if you were to plot this out and look at the percent growth day over day,
it's more than a third.
You're seeing a dramatic spike.
Well, that's more than a third. So like if you talked about like a team and you said like, they've had 35% or 34.5% of their home runs in the last 48 hours, they'd be like, what's gotten into them?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
who took the roids?
Right. Yeah. Like, who's corking their bat?
Right.
But yeah. And I mean, that's just the first example off the top of my head. I think if you used a lot more than that. Okay. Here's another one. Cause I was a salesperson for a long time. What if like a sales team had like 34% of their sales in the last 48 hours?
Yeah.
You'd think it was padded, right? Like you'd be like, who's lying about sales? Like who
fluffed the books?
Yeah, like why the sudden increase?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's basically an alarming number to hear, no matter what. Because also, to be fair, you'd have to ask like, well, how long is this period? And it's like, well, weeks now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
it's more than 3 days. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's a significant bit.
That's pretty alarming.
Yeah.
So.
I know I'm looking to see if there's other dates, but.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I hope everybody's feeling safer at home.
Yeah, what's been interesting is I had a friend of mine who lives on the East Coast near Boston reach out, and there she said nobody's taking it seriously. And
Really?
here we're like hunkered down. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting regionally where it's like, sure, you have different airport hubs, you might have ones, but it's like
Sure.
if you have Seattle and LA, and you
Hmm.
have these major cities. Well, I guess it's the East Coast. Well, you have Miami. Okay.
Well,
So you,
Miami's mayor has
yeah,
it.
exactly. So it's like you're having these like pockets kind of heat up across the US. You have to assume that it's only going to spread more.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I
Think.
just find it kind of interesting that
Hmm.
just like regionally where things are at.
Well, I don't know if you've seen like in the news, like, I mean, people are like kind of laughing at us, like saying like, "Oh, California has the most stringent like lockdown. Like
Yeah.
everybody's being forced to be in their homes." Which
Yeah.
this is a free country. We're not. I mean, just full disclosure, we're not being forced to be in our
Yeah,
homes.
you know
Like,
what I think,
Yeah.
you know what I think will happen. I'm just gonna make a
Sure.
little forecast,
Sure.
right? I think we might look back on this, like but also like the general people,
Yeah.
and say like LASF, California, they reacted quickly
Mm-hmm.
and took aggressive measures, like not aggressive, but aggressive in the sense of like everybody is complying, I'd say.
I think more like appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, appropriate, but also like quick to react. Okay.
Yeah.
And what'll be interesting to see is like it might end up, I'm sure it's going to end up benefiting LA in the short term.
Sure.
But the problem is if these other states and cities don't react the same way,
Mhm.
they're just going to end up trickling here. And so we're
Yeah.
going to end up in this holding pattern throughout the whole entire time because
Right.
we'll always be subject to people from outside of LA who weren't
Right.
being held into this.
Well, because also you got to think like, I mean, I know this is pretty much interrupted and rained on everybody's parade, but you got to think there still are people that were like, "Hey, I'm moving to LA for a job, and this job's
Yeah.
starting, and like, I was gonna work from home anyway."
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like, they're still expecting me to move out to LA, move into my place, report to XXX. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like we just moved here a couple months ago,
Yeah.
and it's like if we would have had to wait like one more month, it would have been so much more difficult.
Oh,
You know?
right. Yeah.
I mean, I was able to kind of like we lived in an apartment before, and now we're in like more of like a home situation, and like I was able to sneak pretty much in and out of the apartment complex like without being disturbed almost every time that I was like loading up stuff, just because it was like right after the holidays, people were busy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like nobody was really like a few people were like, "Oh, what's going on? What are you doing?" "Well, good luck," and it's like, "Okay, yeah, see ya," but it's like it wasn't like I think right now if we were moving out, people would like like it would just be tough. I'm not saying people would like be asking us stuff, but it would just be like everybody avoiding each
Yeah.
other and like, I mean, it would potentially be dangerous too.
Yeah.
Because like there have been reports in the news that people are gearing up for potential like looting.
Yeah.
Because like gun stores have been like sold out,
Mhm.
and having like lines out the door because I mean, this is America. Like at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you got to think like when times are tough, people think like I got to get a gun, and that's just how it works. So, it's just it's one of those things where and apparently they closed gun stores because they're not essential. So whoever got there first, bless
Well,
you.
yeah. See, there was a mentality to it after
Well,
all.
exactly,
There
because
was, yeah.
because of the looting thing. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to think like, yeah,
Not
sure.
only that, but also just people going for scarcity, and
Oh,
they
sure.
end up playing out to be scarce. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like
and
you can't
speaking of
really blame
scarcity,
those people.
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Didn't mean to cut you off there. But speaking of scarcity, did you hear about the guy in I think it was Kentucky? It might have been Tennessee, but the guy who had 17,000 bottles
Oh, yeah.
of Purell hand
Yeah.
sanitizer, and it turns out there's a price gouging law which is federal,
Yeah.
and both Walmart and Amazon, because he was trying to resell them online, they reported him to some federal bureau that handles this type of thing. Which, I mean, there are like 30 plus federal agencies. So
Don't you love how
Yeah.
quick the big guys are quick to like skin out the little ones?
Yeah,
Like,
oh, yeah.
look at this bad actor here.
Right.
The singular bad actor.
Well, because there were multiple stories about him like online,
Yeah.
and like everybody was like, "You're horrible," because it's like one family with like an old grandma is just trying to, I'm just trying to sanitize my hands, and he bought it all,
Yeah.
So I mean, when you put it in that angle, for sure.
Sure.
But then, of course, like this is a capitalist country, so it's like
Yeah.
we all some part of all of us would have done what he did
Yeah.
if we would have
Well,
had the
you know what?
money,
Yeah,
like,
you know what's funny is like the amount of, I'd say, internal capital
mhm,
that circulated at both of those companies
right.
just to get that message out for that bureau to look into this guy
Yeah,
is probably honestly equivalent to whatever profit he would have made.
sure.
So like say he would have made $1 million,
Yeah.
like between those two companies of just various individuals emailing the other one to be like, all right,
Mhm.
let's reach out to them and have them identify this guy on eBay, this, that, and the
Right.
other. That's people that like just their time and like manpower is
Manpower, I was
worth
thinking that,
a
yeah.
$500,000 each,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And so it's just kind of crazy.
But like, well, yeah, just like you're saying, going with that, they would rather burn it than see him make it.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd
Yeah.
they'd rather light it.
And to
Yeah.
like point the spotlight over another direction. Like,
Right.
We're not the bad guys. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
No.
well, because a lot of the times the first person that casts
Yeah.
aspersions,
Yeah.
looks innocent because they're being the good one. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, he did this, and the people are like, yo, and it's like,
Yeah.
just like what was it in the do you remember the story? What was it that we watched recently of the pharmacist? And that kid was like, oh, it was this person, and then it turned out to be him.
Oh, right.
Because he was trying to divert people away. So it's like, it's a really common thing. But yeah.
Hashtag spoiler alert.
Right. Yeah. Hashtag spoiler
If you
alert,
were
but
thinking about watching that one.
well, I mean, they cover that in like the second episode. So, I mean, if you.
Out of what, 3?
No, like 5, 6? I don't know. I mean, if you're home right now,
Yeah.
first of all, good job.
Get on that Netflix playlist
yeah,
after
yes.
you're done watching our episodes.
Right. Listen to Kate. Exactly. But speaking of our episodes, this is episode 3. So thank you if you have been tuning in to the audio of episode 1, the video and audio of episode 2, and here is episode 3. We plan to bring a lot of content to everybody. I think that's a plane going over, in case you hear some noise in the background. Sorry. We plan to bring a lot of content to our audience. So, thank you. This is the beginning. This is the early on stages. So thanks for joining us, and thanks for, giving us your time. And if you have joined our Patreon, or you plan on joining our Patreon in the future, thank you for, giving us a few of your hard-earned dollars so that we can contribute to upgrading our gear, maintaining, the highest level of content that we can give you, really. Because, I mean, we're doing this for fun. We're doing this for us, but it's really nice to be able to share it with the world and, get some feedback and, get some input and whatnot. Because, I mean, I've been making music for most of my life now. And I remember when I would make a track and, a fan would say like, hey, maybe you should like double up this chorus at the end. And I'd be like, I didn't think about that. Okay. Yeah. Let me try that. And then I would do it. And it's like, boom, because one fan or, one supporter said to do so, I went ahead and changed it. And it's like, who knows if that person even knew how to do music, but they were like, this part, you should repeat that twice. And it's like,
well, because maybe they were playing it and then like reversing. Like,
well, that's what they said.
Yeah.
They were like, whoa, that's weird. I only hear it in my left ear now.
Same.
Okay. Strange. Maybe it'll come back. Let me see if it's recording still. It's recording still, so maybe we should just go with it.
Okay. You think it's like an
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
It was a headphone issue.
Yeah.
So
it's a little...
sorry about that little technical difficulty. But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, the person had told me, hey man, I'm so tired of like replaying your track every time. Like, I don't mind giving you the streams and like I'm fine with it, but like then I hear the verses twice as much. Like he's like, I love like this part. He's like, the other part's not so much, no offense, but he's like, this way if you repeat the part at the end twice, he's like, I get my fix. And I was like, oh, that's cool, dude. I was like, if you're calling my music your fix, then that's, who am I to not give it to you,
Yeah.
So, it's like if people end up telling us like more shadow, I think you'll be okay with that.
Yeah, soon we'll have dog videos.
Yeah, we will
Our
have dog
dogs
videos.
love to wrestle, and it's hilarious because sometimes they're both making noises, but usually it's just Char.
Right. So it's like, it's almost like as if you're like, well, why is Shadow's track muted?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because like he'll still move and like he'll open his mouth and everything, but like he basically just doesn't really make much noise at all.
Yeah.
But yeah,
with it.
we'll have some really, really cool videos of the dogs soon. And what's great is, and again, shout out Zcam. The Zcam that we're filming on right now films at 120 frames per second at 4K. So that's going to be really cool. We'll be able to deliver very, very high quality, high resolution, high speed, slow motion content, which I'm obsessed with slow motion, as you probably know.
Yep.
Most of the videos I've made in my career have involved some type of slow motion. And, really like when I've been hired for jobs that are just pretty straight up, like interview style or whatnot, or, as people know in the film world is 24p, which is just basically real time, like we're doing right now. I'm typically pretty bored by it. What's great about this is I know how to do it, and I'm doing multiple roles. Like I'm playing the Jamie per se, and I'm also in front of the camera. So this is fun. As opposed to like if I were behind the camera just filming a 24p project, I'd probably have to like the people and like be involved in it or whatnot. So. Getting to the point, I like filming in like 60p or 120p, which is, in other words, 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second, which can allow you to respectively slow it down 2.5 times or 5 times, depending on if it's 60 or 120. So getting to the point, as you can imagine with the dogs, if they're jumping around and biting each other and doing all kinds of fun stuff, and you get to see that at 2.5 times or even 5 times as slow, like.
It looks like a Nat Geo thing. Like
It's
when
crazy.
you really see like Char like clamp
like
it down,
especially
you see the teeth and then you see the way they like jump.
Yeah.
Or they like nibble
well,
on
and they
each other's
stop
necks
like just before, you know what I mean? Because it's like they have that wolf inside of them, so it's like they want to go for the jugular, and if they went a little bit harder,
they could.
Easily.
Yeah.
And the other one's almost opening up to them. You know what I mean? Like I trust you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really look at the way they play, it's brothers trusting each other.
Oh yeah, they're like little fencers.
It's crazy. I'm surprised one of them hasn't a big toothed an eye out. You know what I mean? Because it's both of them respectively actually have gotten like really, really close to like the other's eye, and they'll just like have like the mouth open, like pretend my hand, and audio listeners pretend at home my hand is up against my face, and it's like you can just pretend like if you open up your hand fully, like your index finger on your forehead and your thumb like on your chin, like that's how like wide, mostly Shadow, but like Shadow's mouth will be on Charlie sometimes, and I look over and I'm like, Kate, look, and it's like sometimes I think we're about to see Charlie just get eaten and disappear,
Right. I know, it's funny because Shadow's so much bigger, so like his entire mouth will go around like Shadow's or Charlie's back.
Oh,
the
that's
best
right.
is when he like nibbles down it
on his leg.
No, well, he'll do his leg, but he'll also just kind of like do little mini chomps down his spine.
Oh, right,
it's
right.
What?
And he's on both sides of him. You know what I mean? Like he's
exactly.
like I mean, again, if you're listening at home, like if you just pretend your hand is like Charlie's body, just go like on the thumb and the pinky, and like just pretend
nibbles.
that's Jaws, and like that's little nibbles all up the side, and that's what Shadow likes doing to Charlie. And then what's great is Charlie like always kind of has this like look back, like falling down type of behavior, and I mean, they're great together. They're great brothers.
They're really funny.
I'm glad they have each other.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
we've said it a million times.
Yeah, well, it brings out their personalities a lot.
For sure. Well, and that's another thing too with the slow motion video. Like, do you ever notice like these little micro like emotions that they'll have? You know what I mean? Like one will start like, especially Charlie. I should, and I said this the other day, but especially Charlie, because like at first he'll kind of look like gnarling, and then he'll go. And just kind of shy away. So it's like at first he has this like wolf like attack instinct, and he's like, oh shit, and he just backs up off Shadow. So anyway, as you can tell, we are obsessed dog parents. We don't have any kids. These are our kids. So we actually have a little placard that says "My kids have paws."
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
It is.
So is it Friday night?
It is. Yeah, I'm excited for the weekend.
Nice. Yeah, it's Friday night. Excited for the weekend.
Yeah,
more being inside.
Yep.
But at the same time, I mean, we do
being
go out
home.
To a certain extent. Yeah, because I was gonna say you worked earlier today outside.
Week, but I mean, I think
you worked all weekend. You worked all weekend last weekend.
Yeah,
so I got to give you some credit. Like,
and then the week before.
And the week before.
I'm looking forward to this weekend. Yeah.
You gonna have some time off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're very fortunate now that we have like an indoor and outdoor space.
Yeah.
Where we live, especially coming from like a smaller apartment in SF, it's like if we were stuck in our last place under the shelter in place conditions, it would be really tough. But
I can't even imagine.
like, just various places definitely is, I think, going to keep us more sane here for the long run.
I agree. Let me plug you into a different outlet here on the headphones. But yeah, no, like we were saying earlier today, I just can't even imagine if we were having to. You can't hear?
No.
Okay. This headphone adapter that we have kind of sucks. Let me make an adjustment.
Kate's offline.
Okay, are we good? Are we good?
No.
No?
No.
Kate's offline.
Kate's offline. Oh.
Oh.
I was starting to hear it.
Starting to hear it. Are you good?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if I'm good.
Yeah. I'm only one ear.
Check. Yeah, I'm one ear. This is fun.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
I think maybe because it's dangling.
Probably, yeah.
I want to put something underneath it.
Yeah.
You want my notebook?
Sure. Okay,
Try
cool.
that.
We are making adjustments as we go, people. Thank you so much for bearing with us. We appreciate it.
If you're a Patreon member and you got to watch the video for episode 1, you can understand that we are making strides.
Yeah,
trying to make rapid improvements and adjustments after each episode. You know, we're kind of like quarterbacks. We watch the footage.
Yeah,
and then,
our glowing symptoms have gone away.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I get it now.
And Patreon people get it too.
Past me. Yeah.
If you're not a Patreon member, you have no idea. So
yeah,
we'll move on to other stuff so that you can get back in here and be part of this.
Yeah.
But like we were saying, with going out and working.
Oh, just having space to be here.
Oh, yeah. Because we were talking about like, man, we lived in an apartment in San Francisco, and you know, it was cool. It worked for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally happy with our experience there. But if we lived there right now, oh my gosh, like we have a yard right now. So like, just to put it simply, you know, without giving you too much detail about where we live and what our setup is here, our old place didn't have any of that, basically.
Yeah.
Like we only had an apartment with a parking space. Now, you know, so it was great that like, we'll take it, because when we pulled in, at least we didn't have like the boys to like deal with like on the street. We could take them right into the front door. So that was one of the best perks, but you had to walk them around the block.
Yeah.
And I mean, shadow requires.
Which wasn't bad, but just,
but shadow especially. I was gonna say Char's a quick walk. Shadow especially though, he needs about 5 different pee times, and he's real particular.
Not just any bush is good enough.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought you were about to like give a stick up for him, but it's like nah. Like Moon's crazy on his walks. He's very, very particular. And if you got to get a poop out of him, it's just like, it's crazy.
You're going to be there a while.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a dog parent and you're watching this, you get it. You know? And if your dog doesn't give you any trouble, then
I feel like there's the dogs that like go 90% and the first time they lift their legs, that's Char. And then right. Shadow is the type where you need at least 5 different plants, but like if you want him empty, he needs to hit 10. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, he needs to be, like, picking up his leg and being dry for, like, 3 straight.
When you first told me, you know, when I would first, like, walk him and you'd go out of town for business or whatnot, or, like, visit family, then, you know, you'd tell me minimum 5 times.
Yeah. I'm like, the walk didn't count.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, though, because... you know, I mean, only very, very few times, but it's like I'd take him and he'd be really difficult, and it'd only be about 3 times, and then in a couple hours he'd be kind of pawing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, all right, man, let's get the rest of those out.
Yep.
You know,
he'll let you know.
Yeah, but he's a good boy. I mean, and you know, he's been kicking less because I think he realizes it's his yard. So it's like if he just kicks up a shit everywhere, he has to go visit. Oh, was he
digging today?
Okay, yeah.
What are you doing now, buddy?
He likes to pee and then kick up dirt and stuff. And I was reading about how dogs do that so that they can kind of let everybody know in the area, like this is my shit. I'm here. You know, kind of like claiming the area. He's looking on one of those ropes.
Yeah, he's going to town.
Yeah, well, in episode 2, we talked about how he likes to take out knots of little ropes, and that is exactly what he's trying to do. He's taking
advantage of the fact that we are somewhat preoccupied.
Yeah.
The other day, I had him out here with me when I was working, and he like strategically laid outside the view with the rope. Oh. And didn't make a single sound while I was on a meeting. And then I got off. I'm like, it makes a lot of sense.
Was he biting at it? And
oh yeah. The whole thing was damp. Like
it's so damp.
Well, and it's just funny because it's like he remembers them. He clearly does. So it's like by the time he gets to see these toys again, he's like, oh man, have I been waiting for this one?
Right. Yeah. No, Moon. Moon's fun in that way. He'll well, and what's cool is, he doesn't ever really get that annoying with the toys. If anything, he's the exact opposite, like you were talking about, just being kind of hidden. But Char, on the other hand, will get the squeakiest toy every time and just go ape shit. And he'll stop for a second just to kind of like be the wolf, and then he'll go pounce on it again and just squeak, squeak, squeak.
Yeah.
But luckily, Char is sleeping right now, like a little cute baby. Oh, he just woke up.
He's like, what?
He's like, why are you talking about me? I didn't ask for that.
Once again, our guests for the show are sleeping on us.
Yeah, right. So
one's sleeping on us, one's trying to get kicked out.
If we ever have a human studio audience, we'll have to provide pillows or make the studio cold. Like, I don't know if you know,
keep them up.
Well, I don't know if you know, a lot of live audience tapings, they keep the studio cold, like around 60 degrees.
We would make our 2-drink minimum like 2 espresso shots.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
Caffeine or tea.
Yeah, which just a little thing to comedy clubs out there. Please offer more stuff. Or
at least just let me order food.
Or
I would just rather, if I'm going to spend money, fine.
Right.
But let me spend it on something that I'm at least going to get some enjoyment out of.
Well, because at 10:30 at night, why do we want to order 2 coffees?
Yeah.
If it's a 2-drink minimum, because we and I won't name the club because I don't want to be a douchebag, but just comedy clubs in general, because I've been to a few of them now, and they always pretty much require a 2-drink minimum, which that's fine. I get it. People have to make money, but we ordered a coffee and then we ordered a water, and the guy took it as bottled water, so he just brought both drinks, and it's like like he's pretty much done with us, and it's like, come on, man, we want to laugh and stuff, but I'll take some tap water with some ice in it, I don't know about in LA though, because we did just move here. Yeah,
this was just coronavirus. So
yeah, no, maybe that guy was looking out for me subconsciously. Yeah, it might have been a blessing in disguise. So yeah,
moral of the story: offer food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, moral of the story: comedy clubs offer food, but other than that, keep doing what you're doing because you're great. Yeah. No, we had fun. We were just talking about it recently. I think it was like yesterday, but to see Rogan in person,
that was
like
cool.
That close, that was hella cool.
Front row. We were a couple feet away.
It was just
kind of funny.
And,
after watching so many podcast episodes, just being home with him on the screen. You're like, whatever.
It's like,
and then you're sitting there like, oh,
that's the dude.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, and what was cool was we saw him come in before, and then he did a set. Remember he said hi to somebody and hand shook them or shook their hand or whatever, and then he came up next or two after, and Tony Hinchcliffe performed, and who else? Oh, Andrew Santino.
Yeah.
And then we got tricked because we thought Joey Diaz was going to be there, but I think he was on the first show.
Yeah.
And so was Whitney Cummings and Brendan Schaub, and it's
Makes
well,
sense.
looky there. And what was funny was, full disclosure, we came to the first show thinking that we had tickets to that.
Yeah.
And then we didn't, so we ended up going over to Carney's, I think it is. Yeah, really cute little
that was fun.
What was it? It's like a train car, right?
I think so.
It's like a hollowed out train car.
And it was cool because I don't know if they've always, this was our first time there, but I don't know if Coach did a takeover of, they must have. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Because they had all the billboards also on the street, but yeah, the tables were really cool. I took pictures.
They had Coach billboards?
As well. So
I'm sure
it must
have
just been
that.
Yeah. But it was smart. It was definitely smart because there were a lot of people in there eating, and then there were also of the people eating, they were taking pictures of the tables.
Yeah. So well, you know what I could see is I don't know the history of it, but I could see maybe Carney is one of the names of one of the women that started Coach or whatever. So it's Carney's diner.
It's possible.
Yeah, or Coach just spotted a way to get in
or
because they were
just
LA.
It makes sense.
Yeah, we put our name all over stuff. That would make
people will take pictures of it and tag it on Instagram.
Yeah, ching.
Yep.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
My theories are just, my theories are more script.
Yeah. When I first met Ryan, he would kind of go down these rabbit holes all the time of. I don't even know what to call him, so I came up with a delicate way to tell him, let's wrap this one up. So I would just go, script.
And,
I haven't used it in a while, though.
If people couldn't understand, she was saying script.
Yeah.
And because pretty much stuff that I would come up with, it would only be found in a script because it was so outrageous. I'd be like, what if blah, blah, blah. Yeah, fill in the blank. and then she'd just be like, script. And I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know how to respond to this hypothetical script that we're talking about.
Yeah, you're like, sorry, I didn't.
What? I'm so because
I didn't get a copy
me being
of that.
the data person and factual person I am, I'm like, what are you looking for from me here?
Right. Well, because I'm doing like an improv type of thing essentially. I'm like, yeah, what do you think? And you're like, I didn't get a copy of the script.
You're like, none of this is real.
Right. It's all in your head, Ryan. Story of my life. All I see behind you is a tail wagging.
Yeah.
It's just Shadow Man saying, hey.
He's like,
it's been about 40 minutes or so. I don't really know how to tell time. And I had to do the factor of 7. So it was a little bit difficult.
He's like, and Char's sleeping. So
he's like, I counted to 7, 11.
Right.
And it made sense. But yeah, we're watching Joker inside.
Yeah.
It's a pretty intense film.
Yeah.
From the scenes that we've seen so far. Interesting. But cinematography wise, jeez, incredible. Yeah. Incredible looking.
Definitely.
Like it makes me want to do remember we were talking about doing short films.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to work on this weekend from a filming perspective. So great. I think it's good inspiration.
Definitely. And we've got a few cine lenses that we want to try out on the Zcam. So, that'll be fun. And, maybe I can put on like one of my songs that I'm working on right now. And what's great is I have some scratch vocals already laid down. So, I mean, we could always play that, like the rough version. It'd be the same lip syncing, you know what I mean? To like the track. So it'd be fun to work on if you want to help me out with that.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I want to do the voiceover for my scripts too this weekend.
Oh, right. Actually,
maybe you can read a few of yours.
We wrote quite a few scripts,
we did.
Didn't we? Yeah, we were kind of on a roll
for
about, I would say, 24 to 48 hours. We were just like rifling off stuff left and right.
The same amount of time it took to get 101 or 107 coronavirus cases.
Yeah,
that's why people are safer at home.
Right, because you could be writing scripts to spec commercials,
right?
Instead of spreading and getting coronavirus.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, people. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, stay home. Find a way to be productive.
Yeah.
If you can't be productive, find a way to eliminate the things that are keeping you from being productive.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that's funny that you mentioned that because I'm a huge proponent of Post-its. If anybody knows me, they know I'm a Post-it freak. And I had a bunch of Post-its just all up on my keyboard today, and I was just thinking to myself, like, I want to start doing my own individual podcasts. I've got a podcast that's going to start pretty soon called Misery Loves Company, which I think is an appropriate title because I'm sure a lot of people are miserable at home right now and they could use some company.
Yeah.
And it's a solo podcast because I've gone through my own bouts of loneliness in life. So I just feel like it's a great time to put the camera on oneself and talk, just shoot the shit. I mean, Bill Burr does it. I'm in no way saying that I'll be on his level. But, solo podcasts are fun. So I'll be starting one pretty soon and getting to the point, as a story of my life, getting to the point, I had Post-its and I wanted to get rid of them because visually, I don't think it would be too, pleasing aesthetically. And then also on top of it, it's like, it was some stuff that I just been meaning to do. So, I picked up the first Post-it. It had to do with like logging online and like changing like my address, and then the next one was like, organizing like a box. Actually I had made like 3 boxes into one. So consolidation and like, all this kind of stuff. It's like, it's super cathartic, because it's like after I did it, like I messaged you and then I told you when you came in and it got me like super jazzed, and then after that, it made me want to chop the episode 2, which you guys should have already seen by now, and that we just uploaded to YouTube. So, I mean, really today we've edited episode 2, uploaded episode 2, and now we're recording episode 3. I mean, that's just like...
Yep. Starting to put some momentum behind things.
Well, I mean, you can hear the engines revving up, and a lot of podcasts, as, many people know out there, a lot of podcasts, they'll record on one day. And like, I've heard it a million times. People will be like, oh, when's this coming out? And the person will be like, next Wednesday. And it's like, why? And I mean, no offense. I mean, if people have their workflow, everybody's got workflow that works for them. A lot of comedians and a lot of podcasters have a producer, that they have to work with. And then that producer probably has a few people they work with, right? Because, they can't just be working for one podcaster. I don't think that would be like a salary job. You know what I mean? So it's like, and maybe it will be, or maybe it is, but at the end of the day, I would just imagine that most podcasting producers, they kind of go around and do this, you know what I mean? Or this is a part-time job that they're doing with somebody while they go to school or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, at the end of the day, having more than one cook in the kitchen can make things take so much longer.
Yeah.
But just the fact that I've been, excuse me, didn't mean to spit a little bit out there. Just because I've been doing this for so long, 10 plus years shooting and editing video, it's like it comes second nature for me. And it's, nice. It's just nice to be able to do this, for us. It's cool. Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. And again, shout out to Cam because they have this plugin in post that just makes things super easy.
Yeah.
Like it was just a really streamlined workflow to shoot right into post. No pun intended.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, this is episode 3 that we've just brought you, which is appropriately entitled "Tested Positive for Toilet Paper."
Yep. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you for listening and tuning in to the M&E podcast, episode 3. We will see you soon.
See you next time.
Take care, stay safe, and stay inside.
Stay sane.
Yeah.